Hi, friends. May is over. I went to Florida. I was gone for about a week. I am home now, and I realized that I didn't do my May no buy recap video. Honestly, I'm really excited to do this one because as I was pulling receipts and looking through what I bought for the month of May, I was surprised and a little bit shocked and excited. If you haven't seen my full no buy video, I'll link it here. I'm doing the no buy with specific quarterly rules, including everything has to run through a contentment filter. And if you watched my April video, then you know I was going to focus on the fact that just because I start a purchase does not mean that everything that ends up in that cart automatically passes the filter. I need to still ask that question for every single item. So let's just get right into May with my thoughts, what I bought, and why I bought it, and how I'm feeling in June, going into June, even though it's already June. Also, I got a cold while I was down in Florida. So if my voice sounds a little bit off, please just bear with me once again. So I think for a long time, wanting something felt like buying. If I started browsing, if I added something to my Amazon cart, if I started thinking through a purchase, then I would come up with all the reasons that I wanted to buy it. I would then justify it. And then I was halfway committed in my mind. But May, once again, came in and reminded me there is importance in the pause. There can be a pause there. There should be a pause there. And that pause changes things. So going into May, this month was not about not buying things for the sake of not buying things. This no buy is really something I'm trying to lean into as a learning experience and journey about my spending habits. It's staying aware and asking, does this pass my filter? Is this something I need right now? Can I put a time and a date on when I will use it? And is this aligned with what matters in my current soft season? So when I look back at May, and this is where I got excited, I realized I actually bought very little. I bought things for my daughter's birthday party, decor and presents, of course. I bought a book for my book club. And then I realized the only purchase that was unnecessary was I bought some candy. Honestly, looking at the whole month of May, this made me feel really good. Obviously, I'm not including gas or food or other necessities. I talk about that more in my full no buy plan video. But I expected, after having a little bit of trouble in April, for May to have a little bit more random spending. But the birthday party purchases made sense. I need the decorations for her party, and I needed her birthday presents. They're tied to a real event. They can be used on a specific date. They have a purpose. The book club book is something that passes my filter because it's very aligned in the season I'm in of slowing down. Hard is not the same thing as bad. It's a motherhood book. I'm in a mom's book club. It's a very real part of this season that I'm in cultivating friendships with people in my actual area. And I think that again relates to my whole no buy, my soft season, what I talk about on this channel in being very intentional about my life. Because a no buy is not about deprivation for me. It's not about never buying anything. It's about becoming more intentional about what I buy, what I allow into my life. So I have the birthday party stuff, the birthday presents, as well as a new book. But I also mentioned I bought some candy. Now, this is unnecessary because it was sweets that I didn't need. But I ended up going down a very specific hyperfixation rabbit hole because I have the Tums chews and I was trying to find a candy that tastes just like those because sometimes I feel like I could eat this entire bottle of Tums. I went into this rabbit hole of going into Reddit threads and finding out if anyone else had found a type of candy that tastes like Tums chews. Again, this is just a hyperfixation spiral I went into, and it's very bizarre, but I also feel like it's really human that sometimes this happens. Even though it's a small purchase and it's not something that I'm doing all the time, I still think it's useful to note it and say, hey, you did let yourself go down this spiral and purchase different candies because that's the whole point of this process I'm not shaming myself for this purchase, for going down this rabbit hole, but I am staying aware of it because we know that I can add multiple things to my cart because Amazon makes it easy. And we know that rabbit holes can really distract us sometimes. So instead, I can be more aware. What was I looking for? What was the driving force behind that? And what made it feel like it was worth buying in that moment? That kind of awareness matters for me. Honestly, I'm proud of myself this month. It's the first month that I really feel like I've kind of nailed it. Not because I bought so little, it feels really good, but I'm proud because the work of paying attention is becoming fruitful. Recapping each month, reflecting in these videos on what I actually purchased and why I did it, and then refocusing for the start of the new month. All of that is doing something in me. It's helping me build this pause muscle where I don't just impulsively purchase things. It's reminding me that just because I can add something to my cart easily, that doesn't mean I have to buy it. It doesn't even mean that I can't have it at some point. It just means I don't need it right now, and the pause is showing me that. That feels like real growth to me because I think for a very long time, I had this feeling that wanting something felt the same as deciding to get it, but I can want something and not get it. Desiring does not have to equal deciding. There's discernment in between there. There's learning in between there. There's intention in between. Another thing that I just want to touch on that really hits home for me is I used to do one-off no buys, and I would spend $0 extra for an entire month. But I would prove it to myself that I could. I'd finish the month. I'd maybe ride that high for a month or two. And then I would purchase everything that had been waiting. I drift right back into my old habits. The no buy would become a thing of the past. And I'd be right back to spending money impulsively purchasing items. I think part of that is because when you know that finish line is coming soon, it's easier to hold off on purchasing things. It's easy to make it feel like a temporary challenge. You can white knuckle something for 30 days because in the back of your mind, this sneaky little voice is saying, the month will be over and then you can buy whatever you want. But this now feels different. I'm entering month 6, June, halfway through the year, and I'm coming back to it at the end of every month. I'm recapping, I'm refocusing, I'm paying more attention, and it's not a 30-day sprint that my brain is trying to get through so that I can purchase everything. This repeated attention is actually what's creating the change. It's not a challenge, but practicing that month after month after month is actually what's changing me. As a coach, I actually think this is such a great reminder that sustainable change usually doesn't come from one intense month. It comes from repeated small shifts over time, repeated reflection, repeated course correction. And I think that's what this no buy is doing for me. Every month that I can notice something a little bit sooner and bring it into the next month, that's a small shift for me. And those small shifts are what build a sustainable, intentional life. That's why I care so much about this. That's why I'm posting these videos every single month. That's why I'm sticking through this despite having a no new clothing budget and then buying a hoodie last month. Because it's not really actually spending less. It's about becoming someone who wants to make intentional decisions every day about every facet of my life, including what I spend my money on. So if you have ever done a 1 month no buy, I encourage you, if you're feeling pulled to do more, to try something like this. Maybe it's 6 months. Maybe it's a year. Maybe it's just a season that you try to see change. Because there is something very powerful about coming back to this month after month after month. Feels different than knowing the month is going to end. The cart will be there full of saved for laters on Amazon, and I can just go hit purchase. But the fact that I'm creating a habit and a practice of questioning my every purchase means that when this no buy is over for me at the end of December, I hopefully will be a new person. So overall, May was a really good month. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy how I stuck to my budget and stuck to my goals, and I only deviated with a little bit of candy. I can feel the strength of the pause growing. I can feel my filter getting stronger, and I can feel that paying attention is actually becoming fruitful. And that makes me really excited to keep going into the second half of the year. So for June, I'll continue to focus on pause, continue to focus on my filter, that every item in a cart has to go through it. We're looking at every individual item intentionally. And I'll also be trying to keep to the no new clothes unless it falls into my summer budget. Spoiler alert, since it is June 9th right now, I have already started purchasing a few things for that specifically. And so I know I need to be aware for the rest of the month so that I don't run away with that. If you're doing a no buy too, or you're trying to be more intentional, I would love to know in the comments, what is something you're getting better at pausing before buying? If this is your type of conversation, intentional living, and all the things that encompass that, I'd love for you to hit like and subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.